Solo for Comfortably Numb. Pointer finger on the G string, 9th fret, up to the 11th fret, G string. Pointer finger to ring finger. Then you take your ring finger back down to the 9th fret and you bend it. You gotta bend it up to that 11th, so after you come down from the bend, you gotta do the 7th on the G string with the pointer finger, the ring finger back on the 9th, 3 hits, down to the pointer finger on the 7th fret, down to the D string, 9th fret, back up to the pointer finger, 7th fret of the G string. So, one, two, three, 7th, 9 of the D, 7th of the G string. The next part, you take your middle finger and you slide from the 9th fret to the 11th fret on the G string. You take your pointing finger, put it on the 10th fret of the B string, hit it once, back to the 11th fret of the G string, back to the 10th fret of the B string twice. So, that's what we're saying here. Then you hit the ring finger 12th fret on the B string. You got to bend it up to a D. And then when you bring it back down, you got to pull off. You got to pull off onto the 10th fret, pointing finger, ring finger to pointing finger. Then you press back on the 12th fret with your ring finger, and you send that up. It's just like you bend it, but you leave it up there. And the way I do that is by muting the string here. The whole run is back down the pointing finger on the 7th fret of the G string, then the 9th fret of the G string, and then you bend up just a little bit and bring it back down and pull off to the pointing finger on the 7th fret and land on the 9th fret of the D string. I could do better. Okay? The next part, I use my pinky. You can use whatever's comfortable for you, but okay, that is the 10th fret of the B string, the 7th fret of the B string, the 9th fret of the G string, back up to the 7th fret of the B string, back down to the 9th fret of the G string, to the 7th fret of the G string, to the 9th fret of the D string. Okay? Then this one right here, you slide up. I use my ring finger from the 7th to the 9th. Hit the pointing finger on the 7th fret of the D string twice. Oops. Add the ring finger on the 9th fret. Add the 7th fret on the G string. And then back down to the D string for 9th and 7. 9, 7, 9. So. Now, this is where you bend up. You're going to hit the 7th fret of the B, the 7th fret of the E. You're going to bend up to the 7th fret of the B, 7th fret of the E, 9th fret of the E with your ring finger. You just bend it up to a half step. You bend it up to that D. The rest of that is, this is a little tricky. 7th fret of the E string, 10th fret of the B string, 7th fret of the E string, and then slide up from the 10th fret to the 12th fret of the B string. That's the way I do it. So, oops. could do that better. This little lick is very tricky. So coming off. So 10th fret of the B string, 7th fret of the B string, 9th fret of the G string. Then you bring it back up to the 7th fret of the B string, 10th fret of the B string, 7th fret of the B string, 9th fret of the B string, 7th back up to the 7th fret, down to the 9th fret of the G string, 7th fret of the G string, 9th fret of the D string, 9th fret of the G string, 7th fret of the G string, 9th fret of the D string, 7th fret of the D string, 9th fret of the A string, 8th fret of the A string, 7th fret of the A string, 5th fret of the A string, 7th fret of the E string, and it ends on the 5th fret of the A string.